This is Born 62, I'm Henrik Jøs. Today we are going to talk biceps overload. We talked about that before. I've shown you another exercise that I still to this day believe is my own invention. You can see it here. Today I'm going to show you something that is definitely not my invention, but something you can use to great advantage. Do you train your muscles to failure? You probably do. That is one of the cornerstones in progressive overload in bodybuilding, strength training, whatever you call it. The meaning of this is that if you choose a weight that allows you to do, let's say, 10 reps, then you can perform 10 reps and nothing more. At rep number 9, it's hard to move the weight, but you can still get a full contraction. And rep number 10, you have to struggle, but you can barely make the full contraction. At rep number 11, you struggle and struggle, but you are not able to contract the muscle and move the weight to the full range of motion, so you have to stop, you give up, you reach muscular failure, and that's it. You terminate the set and you have to wait for a minute or two before you do your next set. That's the way most people train. Then you can have a partner body help you out, meaning that he will give you a little help with rep number 11. So you actually go beyond positive failure, so you get the full contraction by his help. And then it's all you, bro, when you lower the weight again, because you're stronger in the lowering phase than in the contracting phase. And there's actually names for that. The lowering phase or the negative phase is called the eccentric phase. The positive phase or concentric phase is the one where you contract the arm. But there is still another kind of strength, also called static contraction. And that is if you had stopped at rep number 10 and didn't try for number 11. You could probably hold the weight there for quite some time, because that is your static strength, and that's even bigger than your positive strength. So you can see this as a kind of ladder. The weakest of the three is the positive or concentric strength, where you contract your muscles against resistance. The next one is the static strength, for how long can you actually hold on to the weight. And the last one, the eccentric strength, is your ability to control the weight while you lower it, while you let your muscles stretch out again against resistance. So what if we, after we have reached positive failure, actually could go beyond that and not just have your body help you to do two or three reps more, but you could actually tap into your static strength. Can that be done? Yes, I'll show you that in a minute. And now some of you will say, hey, can we also go beyond eccentric failure? Yes, you can, but I'll strongly advise against it. Going beyond a place where you can control the lowering of the weight means that you will actually, it will be ripped from you. So imagine you walk up to a power rack, you grab a barbell in a curl position, and when you walk out of a rep, you realize it's too heavy, so you cannot control it, and it just comes down like this. What will happen? Either your back goes or you tear both your biceps. So working beyond eccentric failure is a no-no. And this was just a biceps. Imagine what would happen if it was a squat or a bench press and you couldn't hold the weight on the way down. Well, you'll probably be dead pretty soon. So we will not go there, but we'll try to work beyond the static contraction. So what we do is a set where we first perform quite a lot of positive reps, normal reps you would say, until we reach failure there. And when we reach failure, we then, instead of lowering the weight, actually put on more weight so we get more resistance, and we try to hold it in the static contraction, which we can't at some point, and then we lower it under control. Then we get into the contracted position once more, try to hold it and lower it under control. This is high intensity, and this is something you shouldn't do with all exercises every day, because this is something that really taps into your ability to recover. So do it once in a while for different muscles, but don't do it all the time because that would be too much. Normally I will start out with a light weight to get the joints, the muscle fibers, the tendons warmed up, and then when I proceed from set to set, I will of course use more and more weight. But already on the first set, after I've done my positive reps, I can use quite a lot of weight for the static contraction. We are using cables today because cables are safer and more forgiving than free weights, and I would advise you to start out with cables and machines because it's much easier to get rid of the weight if something is not going the way it should than if you're trying this out with very heavy barbells or dumbbells, especially if you're alone. So we'll do a biceps curl here, and the weight I have chosen should allow me to hit about 20 reps or so. So here we go. And now I'm actually double the weight and get into the contracted position and use my other hands to help me. One more rep. And that was as much as I could take with this one today. Normally I would do exactly the same with the other arm, then pause a bit and go on to set number 2 with a little more weight. But just to get this moving, I'll show you what would be set number 2 here with more weight and less reps. So and this time I can't double the weight, but I can use a full stack, and that would be enough. As you hopefully can tell, this is pretty intense. I'm really trying to fight the resistance and keep the weight where it is, but it's too heavy, so I have to let it go in a controlled manner. 2 points here. It's important that I bring the arm into position and don't keep it down here and just go like this, because I want to mimic the same exercise I did before and not some awkward rowing exercise or something like that. The other is that I choose a weight that I cannot hold, but I can still control it on the way down. You should not choose a weight that is so heavy that you cannot control it in the eccentric phase, because then you're heading for disaster. Try this out, let me know what you think. If you're ready to go this far, I can assure you that you will also experience muscle growth. See you next week. Hi.